Hello?
Kevin, are you there?
Hi, Deb. Is that Deb?
Who's this, Jim?
This
Yeah.
is Jim. This is Jim.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim. How are you?
Hi. I'm just Ducky.
Is Kevin on?
Not that I see as of yet.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I don't hear
Still muted. Hello?
Oh,
Can you hear me, Chris? Yeah. Jim, you may want to consider going to just audio.
why?
Do you have a mirror in your house?
Kevin, that was awful.
That's recorded. That's recorded. How about if I just wear a
Do
mask?
you not own a mirror, my friend? Come on.
How about if I just get a mask like Rob?
He looks like the Lone Ranger. All right.
I just need a big mask.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock. Okay. Time being 6 o'clock, a quorum being visibly present on our Zoom meeting, I call the meeting of the Freetown Planning Board to order. We have members present: Jim Freites, Bob Joes, Christopher Mello, Kevin Damaris, and is Debbie here?
Yep, I am, Kevin.
Hi, Deb Robbins is here, and how about Dave? Dave is here. Okay, great. Okay, before we get started, I need to read this announcement. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order superseding certain provisions of the open meeting law, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Freetown Planning Board will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and or parties with a right and or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Freetown's website at freetownma.gov. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen to the meeting or participate in the hearing may do so in the following manner. They can download Zoom and enter the meeting ID. They can call the number listed below on our agenda and enter the meeting ID, or go to Zoom and enter the meeting ID listed below. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on Freetown's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. Boy, that's a mouthful. I'll be happy when we don't have to say that anymore. Okay, folks, so last we were together, we had continued the public hearing for the consideration of a zoning bylaw change for the solar photovoltaic bylaw that we have here in town. So that being said, I will call that public hearing back to order. So where we left off, for those that may be in attendance today that were not privy to our last conversation, it was brought up that we, as the planning board, don't think that just having a setback change is quite enough, nor does it give us the flexibility to, increase or decrease setbacks and/or the visual impact, more importantly, depending on the individual project. So that's kind of where we stand right now. I know that Jim Freites had made a very good point. I think Bob Joes, and for the most part, we all agreed, whether it's 50, 75 feet, that really doesn't make much of a hill of beans if it's already a clear cut and there is no defined buffer screening, if you will. So I'd just like to hear, we've got town meeting coming up. I don't like to try to rush things, quite honestly. I know there was a lot of talk about attacking this through rules and regulations. I agree with Bob Joes and that's probably our best bet and gives us the greatest strength, oftentimes, to deal with individual projects. So with town meeting coming up, I just want to let everybody know what our options are relative to how we proceed. You know, we've closed the public discussion part of this public hearing, but we still have to make a decision relative to how we proceed with town meeting. So there are a couple of options that we have. We can try to come up with an amenable setback change, if you will, and try to put forth that on town meeting. There is some inherent challenges with that. We'd have to produce a new document, which we can do readily, and then make an amendment on town meeting floor to change it to the new wording that we've done. We've done that in the past, but it can cause some consternation with folks. Secondly, I think our other option would be to either choose to commit it back or remand it back, refer it back to planning board for continued consideration. Or quite honestly, we could vote to withdraw it, which keeps the existing zoning in place. And then we can schedule a public hearing to start, maybe begin in November for the rules and regulations of for the solar. And then we can work on that. And then should anything come out of that we need to put in the bylaw, we can continue the public hearing for the bylaw change. And then we can insert language in that way. My personal feeling is I don't know that this bylaw as proposed goes far enough to ensure the protections that we're trying to do. We're trying to accomplish a goal here to kind of offset the site impact, the visual impact, and to some degree that would help with, noise impact. And again, I think you guys brought up very good points during the discussion that if it's a clear-cut lot, you can be set back 200 feet, but you still may have some visual and/or sound impact. And the bylaw change as proposed does not give us that authority as proposed. But changing our rules and regulations, we can do that. So I'm just curious at what other folks' feelings are on this, on the planning board, that is.
I definitely think there has to be a structure of some sort, for sure, to make a buffer. You can have just trees and you can see right through them, and it doesn't really create.
Yeah,
anything.
This is Chris, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you get credit.
Yep.
If you say something good, but I want you,
Yep.
take the
Say
heat if
my
you
name.
say something silly too, right? So.
Oh yeah.
No, you make a good point, and we've seen it in certain instances where trees can get thin over time, or you can't see through them in the fall. And you're right, Chris. So, unfortunately, we started a very good discussion, had very good participation from both the public and board members, and I want to continue that. But if our goal is to offset the impact, site impact and some sound impact, and try to mitigate that, I'm not sure that the bylaw, the changes that we proposed are going to do that, as pointed out by the members. So with that being said, and after hearing last week's discussion or the last meeting's discussion, I'm just wondering if there's any other feelings on the board, how we should proceed with this. I don't want to. Yeah, go ahead.
Kev, I like the idea to vote we can withdraw, because it'll give us just more time to work on this through the bylaw section. And
yeah, I'm almost. A lot of good points were brought up during a public hearing, and I don't want to feel rushed with this. So I appreciate that. This was Jim, right?
yes, it was
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
the one with the mirror.
I take back everything I said about you earlier.
From when?
Well,
Earlier means like forever.
well,
Okay.
And does anybody else
And I
have
agree
anything?
with Jim. I agree
Yeah.
with what Jim said. I second that.
Okay.
And, you know, I think our bylaws, the way they're written right now, have been, okay for where we've been so far, but, you know, we need more restrictive bylaws. We need more restriction, but we need to have the latitude to give each application that consideration. I mean, you can always say there's so many, what about this situation? What about that situation? And there is no flexibility in a bylaw. The bylaw is the bylaw. The only relief from it is through zoning board of appeals and go through a variance process, which is a long process and it's not a guaranteed process. What only thing that gives us flexibility is the rules and regulations. And I think we need more of a conversation of if we're going to do rules and regulations pertaining to this, what they're going to be, how they are. And that's a longer conversation than just changing the bylaw for a couple of setbacks, 20 feet setback 75 versus 50 versus 100. What we have currently going in front of the town isn't any of those things. It's something that was a great idea, and it might be what is reflected in the rules and regulations. But if we put it in bylaw, then there's no derogation from it. It is what it is. So, I think at this point, maybe we pull this portion of it that's written currently. We pull that. We've come up with a new bylaw. And I mean, my personal opinion, I think the bylaw should be the basis. It's whatever the minimum is. And then we set more restrictive into the rules and regulations. So the bylaw might be, 50 foot or 75 foot or 100 foot in residential area with vegetative screen. But if we want more than that, if we want to do like is suggested in the current bylaw with the I'm sorry, not bylaw, but the current article with the 100 foot or 200 foot, that would be in rules and regulations. And that's something that, somebody comes in and says, hey, I have this unique situation. I own all the property around it. It's just my property in the middle. Why are you doing setbacks from your own property? That doesn't make sense. We would be able to go down to the minimum, whatever that minimum set at. Right now it's 50 feet. But I think there should be a minimum though, just so a board couldn't waive it down to nothing. So,
Yeah, typically we saw that, Bob, you're right, with the site plan review bylaw that we've actually changed and put them into rules and regulations. The difficulties of that and with the bylaw,
right.
With having no derivation from it, if you will, or So at the end of the day, the bylaw is supposed to be, like you said, the basis, right? It defines, it gives you a scope, it gives you a reason why they're doing it, or why the bylaw exists, and
it also gives you definitions. For the most part,
exactly, definitions, the vegetative buffer and other things, and then in the rules and regulations. Like you said, we can require and it can be worded such that we don't put a distance or anything. It's that a vegetated buffer of sufficient construction
visual screening
to provide visual screening. Right? Yeah. So you're right. The bylaw should contain an absolute no touch. Okay, 50. We're going to keep you off whatever. Okay, like we currently do. But then after that, the visual screening and the sound mitigation, I think we do with the regulations. So if I'm hearing everybody correctly, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Bob, if you had anything else to say.
No, you got it. That's pretty much what I was trying to say. Is we set a base in the bylaw, and that unfortunately that's not the way this article is read. And we need to really retool this to be more. At least that's what I got out of the conversation we've had the last couple of weeks. Yeah. So really, we need to retool this bylaw and go back with a bylaw that will fit in the overall plan of rules and regulations and the bylaw.
Yeah, it may be that we take most of what the bylaw is, put that in rules and regulations, and then craft a simpler bylaw that reflects what's in there, and then we add to that for our rules and regulations. So that's probably, I think, the best path. So if I'm hearing by consensus, and I haven't heard a motion yet, but if I'm hearing by consensus, it's leave it be for now, and.
But I would like to target the next town meeting for it. So the next town meeting. No. So I would like to have everything in place. Right. I like to have everything in place for that next town meeting because, we were talking about this originally and now we put it off to here. I like to hit the next town meeting.
We schedule? When you say next time, you mean the spring, right?
The spring, yeah. The
Yeah,
annual is June,
absolutely.
is the first
Absolutely. Or
Monday in
if-
June.
If another special town meeting comes up in the meantime for any kind of item, you know,
Right.
then and we would done, then you know we would ask that it be put on for that. But no, that's absolutely the intention. I'm thinking,
Right.
Chris, when's the first meeting in November?
Let me check.
Yep, thanks.
The 10th, because we can't do the 3rd.
The 10th. That's not a holiday, is it?
I don't think so. No, 11th is.
The 11th is.
The 11th, Armistice Day.
Okay, so I would say that we schedule the planning board public hearing for the rules and regulations for the first meeting in November.
No,
To
I
Bob's
agree.
point, to Bob's point, the sooner we get working on this, the sooner we can get a finished document, and we can move forward with this. So I would say if everybody's amenable to, can everybody be here on the 10th of November, our regular scheduled night?
I plan on being.
All right.
Yeah, I don't have a problem, Kevin.
Excellent.
Yep,
All right.
yep,
So, and I mean, we already have scheduled meetings in between, but if we're going to do the public hearing, I'd like to have the most attendance as possible. All right. Well, that being said, then we still need a motion on the direction for town meeting. Like I said, if what I'm hearing is you want a motion to withdraw this, and then that's fine. I just need that motion. And what I'll do is I will provide the town moderator with the results of our public hearing vote, and maybe I'll give him a little bit of a write-up if he needs something that he would like to look at and explain or what have you. And if he thinks it's appropriate, maybe we'll have it as a handout at town meeting. I don't know, but typically it doesn't go to that length. It's just a motion to withdraw. But if he has any questions, I'll explain it to him and we'll forward the information to him. So if that's whatever it is you folks want to do. If it's to withdraw, then somebody make a motion to withdraw. No?
I'll make a
Okay.
motion to withdraw the article.
Oh, okay.
Second.
Motions, I'm having a little bit of a hard time here, and I apologize. Motions been made and seconded? Was that
Yes.
Debbie who seconded? All right.
Yes.
Motion's been made and seconded to withdraw the article. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Well, anything? No?
No.
Okay. With no discussion, then I will take a roll call vote. Bob Joes.
Aye.
Bob Joes, aye. Debbie Robbins.
Aye.
Debbie Robbins, aye. Chris Mello.
Aye.
Chris Mello, aye. Jim Freites.
Aye.
Jim Freites, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. So the motion passes unanimous. I just want to thank everybody, public included, interested parties included, planning board members. It's a good discussion we had. I think a lot of concerns were brought out, and I think some light was shown on certain things to us that we need to address. But I also appreciate the fact that it was pointed out that sometimes just a simple bylaw change can have repercussions, both good and bad. And so I think we've done a good job at least discussing this, and I'm ready to move forward with the regulations on the first meeting in November. So thanks again for everybody in the participation. So so the next item on our agenda tonight would be the consideration for surety for the residences at the Assonet Inn, I believe it's called. Where did I leave my discussion on surety for the Form C subdivision? Yeah, the residences at the Assonet Inn. I've been in contact. We've approved the subdivision plan, and typically before we sign it and release it, we need the surety for the project. That's typically a bond or cash or covenants on lots. In speaking with the applicant's representative, there's a little hiccup, and you'll probably see it on the town warrant. Apparently, many moons ago, one of those parcels over there was taken by tax title by the town. It was subsequently bought back by the previous owner who it was taken from, but the town never recorded the appropriate documents with the Registry of Deeds. Fast forward to 2020, it gets found out. So there's an article on town meeting to address that. I guess I'm pretty confident that'll pass at the meeting. Once that gets done and the closing can happen, then we will be provided with some sort of surety. But until then, until the town meeting can rectify the situation, the project basically is at a standstill. So that's the heads up on that project. So there's no more information on that. We're not moving forward with that until after town meeting. So item number 3, receive minutes, schedule bills payable. I think everybody had a chance to look at the minutes. Dave, thank you very much for pointing out those issues with the meeting minutes. For everybody else on the board, Dave is our new Bob Raymond, apparently. Those of us who know Bob Raymond get a chuckle out of that, because Bob's review of minutes would always come in with red marks all over. Period here, comma there, rearrange this, put this first, put that last. But Bob, it says the same thing. Yeah, but this sounds better. Okay. I miss Bob. Do we have any bills, Chris? Oh, we had those EPG bills. If you haven't sent them out to the board for review. Did we have the EPG bills that I signed the other day? Yeah. So they've all been sent out to you. We've signed those. Again, that's not what the town's paying. That's what the applicants are paying. And if there's any other business properly to come before the board, Chris, is there anything that's come up? No? Well, all right then. Yeah. Did we not do a motion to close that public hearing? We did not. The public part of it, yeah. So just for cleaner purposes, Chris is right. For cleaner purposes, just to ratify our decision and our discussion. If anybody would like to make a motion to close the public hearing on the solar bylaw.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing on the solar bylaw.
Second.
All right, motion's been made, and did I hear a second? Yeah.
You did, yes.
Thank you. Motion made and supported. If there's no further discussion on the motion, roll call vote. Bob Joes.
Aye.
Bob Joes, aye. Debbie Robbins.
Aye.
Debbie Robbins, aye. Jim Freites.
Aye.
Jim Freites, aye. Chris Mello.
Aye.
Chris Mello, aye. Kevin Damaris, aye. Motion passes unanimously. So thank you, Chris, for pointing that out. I got caught up with the moment there, I guess. If there's no other business properly come before the board, I would say, everybody, it's time for your, I guess, your favorite motion.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I will second it.
There you go. Motion's been made and supported. I have to do a roll call vote, sorry. So Bob Joes?
Aye and goodbye.
Bob Joes, aye and goodbye. Debbie Robbins?
Aye and goodbye.
Aye and goodbye. Jim Freites?
Aye.
Aye. Jim Freites, aye and goodbye. Chris Mello?
Aye.
Aye and goodbye.
Bye.
Kevin Damaris says aye and goodbye. Be safe, everybody. Thank you again.
You too. Bye.